What's up guys, Spin Firearms here, and today we're going to be doing a review on two handguns that I think is a great comparison, right? They both have a lot going for them. They're very similar in a lot of ways, but they are also very different, which is what basically makes them unique. And I'm going to give you my opinion on personally what I like better. If you own one of them, just because I like this one better than that one, doesn't mean anything for you. I can only speak for my hands, how I shoot, how it feels to me, and so on, right? The main thing in all this is reliability. It's not about what handgun or what, it's about does the handgun function, does it run? And before we get started, if you like firearms, hit the like button. I bust my butt on this channel. I'd really appreciate it. It's free. I know the world is full of people who hate and jealousy, and that's how people are nowadays with social media, but, help me out. I love firearms. Anyways, if you know me, my main carries tend to be Glock 26s and Glock 27s, right? They're my favorite handgun size, because they are very short with that flush mag. There's not a single handgun shorter with the capacity that it has, right? Obviously, nowadays with the stack and a half there is, but back in the day, this was the concealed carry pistol of choice. But if you notice something real quick, and obviously these firearms are cleared and safety checked prior to the video, but once again, it is YouTube. Notice something? They are very similar in footprint, right? So I was very excited about both these handguns because, like I said, handguns like this tend to be that sweet spot, right? They're big enough to where you can still defend yourself. You can still fight with them. You can still shoot accurately with them. But at the same time, they're small enough to carry and have enough capacity and stuff like that. So these are awesome options for you guys. And I'm just excited to be here making the video. Anyways, where should we start? Let's do a size comparison. The Canik. As you can see, that is one problem we will talk about in this video. Is that mag never releases. There it goes. This mag, same thing, right? And even when I'm not pressing anything or squeezing on that grip, it doesn't come out. Not a big deal, because the odds of you doing a reload in a self-defense encounter are basically 0.00000000000000001%. I'm telling you right now, it just doesn't happen. Backup mags are majority, mainly for malfunction clearing, right? Or a bad mag. Anyways, 12 plus 1 in this Canik Mete MC9, 11 plus 1 in the Kimber Mako R7, right? And they both have awkward shaped slides, so it's going to be hard to line them up perfectly, but as you can see, the Canik having plus 1 rounds, you can see it's very comparable. 12 plus 1 versus 11 plus 1 on the left. Look at the widths. Very similar widths. I mean, it's dang near spot on. Dang near spot on. Now we're going to do slide. Slide length. Dang near spot on. Kimber's a little bit longer. And width. About even. These handguns are dang near identical in every dimension. I mean, it's absolutely wild, to be honest. Absolutely cool. Love it, though. Now let's compare their larger mags. Once again, that mag fails to drop every time. This is a 15-round mag for the Canik, and you get a full 3-finger contact. Absolutely love it. And then the Kimber, this mag that they give you is a 13 plus 1 setup. So 13 rounds, and I like the way it feels as well. Check that out. 15 plus 1 on the right, 13 plus 1 on the left. You can see where the Canik gets those 2 rounds from. But also keep in mind, Kimber did release a 15-round mag that I just don't have yet, right? So I'm going to keep them in the configuration of how I would carry them if I was carrying them. Normally, I don't even use this base plate on my Glock 27. I actually just found this mag from a range trip a while ago. I've been looking for it as my backup mag. Put it in while doing dry fire practice. I use a laser bullet with an eye bullet target. That way it rings and lights up when you hit it. And so this is just how I was practicing with it. That's why it's in that setup. Anyways, Kimber Mako R7. They did a lot right with this, right? It's not your average Kimber. It's a whole different design. It's not a 1911. It's not all these funky colors. It's just a black semi-automatic pistol with capacity. And that's all I'm looking for from them. I need something reliable, right? The finish is awesome. So you got to give a thumbs up to the finish. Absolutely love this finish, but you would expect that from Kimber. And I paid $4.99 for this setup, even with the dot that came on it. No, I didn't buy the Crimson Trace. It was already on there. And that was the cheapest package at the time, so I just got it. I'm going to put my own dot on there, but just wanted to do the whole review with that dot on there, which has actually been pretty decent. I haven't had problems, even though I know a lot of people have problems. A proprietary rail, not sure what offerings are out there. On top of that, it may be hard to find a holster with the light that fits on this rail, so just want to put that out there. 11 plus 1 in this small setup. Let's talk about that trigger. I mean, so much crisper and cleaner than a Glock. It's shorter than a Glock. A little bit of sponge, but not bad at all. Definitely a defined wall. Reset. Not bad at all. I have nothing bad to say about that reset. And it's actually like a lighter trigger. It feels like 5 pounds. Absolutely like it. Now, magazines. I never ended up finding out who makes their mags. It sort of looks like Metgar. I'm almost positive it's Metgar because almost everyone goes to them nowadays. But notice also the texturing. The texturing is on the whole entire frame. A lot of handguns don't have that. And for me, the more texturing, the better. Now, I don't want super aggressive texturing, but the more, the better, right? Now I can fight recoil with my thumb a little bit. Can remind myself to keep my finger off the trigger when I feel that. And just feels really good in the hand. They got the perfect texturing down. It's not too aggressive, but it's just enough. I actually really like it. And the handgun's thinner in the frame and just gets a little bit wider up here in order to hide the controls. If you see that, it's in order to hide that so you don't accidentally induce that slide stop, and so it works really well. Also, that mag release is sort of hidden as well. As you can see, you rub your thumb over it, it just sticks out a little bit. That's to prevent accidental discharges of your magazine, right? So overall ergonomics, I really like the feel of it for the Kimber. It feels really good in my hand. So I have nothing wrong with that. I wear size large gloves, and even though the base plate's shape sort of weird, I still wrap my pinky around like a 26 or a 27. And it feels really good. Now, the sights are unreal. These are the sights you want right out of the box. I don't know why they don't give them to us on every pistol, but I think these are True Glows. Yeah, they're True Glows. Look at that white outline on that tritium in the rear, and then you have an orange outline in the front with tritium as well. Then, those sights are automatically tall enough to co-witness with that crimson trace while keeping a minimal amount of sights in your sight picture, right? So it actually works really well. Very low profile. Now the crimson trace, I've had no problems with it. I mean, I don't know what the issue is. If it works, I get it may fail at some point, but this isn't my main carry gun. And on top of that, this is more of a review handgun for me, but I like it. I'm really liking the Kimber Mako R7. We're at about 750 rounds. Not a single problem. It's eaten Underwood Extreme Defenders, second generation gold dots, HSTs, and then the rest just reman target ammo, believe it or not, and it ran flawlessly, right? So I absolutely love this handgun. Don't have my holster for it though, so I can't start carrying it yet, and I do want to get it at 1,000 rounds just to make sure, because I have heard some stories about the Kimbers, but they're basically all taken care of and they fixed their problem. But absolutely love it. Next up is the Canik Mete MC9. One thing I didn't like about this handgun as much that I thought I would is the trigger, but we're going to talk about that, right? For dot up here, another crappy dot, according to the internet, but it is true, because this is my second one. My first one from SIG was blinking, like it would come in and out randomly. It would be there, wouldn't be there. So they sent me a new one, and so far, it's ran just fine. No issues, so it is what it is. Once again, this is not a carry gun for me. At 700 rounds with this handgun, we started having failures to go into battery, failures to feed, failures to extract, all sorts of problems. And it ended up being the guide rod. Since then, Canik has sent a new guide rod for it. 100% reliable, no problems, no issues. I don't fully trust it yet, but so far it's been pretty dang good. The finish is okay. I think they could have done a little bit better on the finish. I think the Kimber is a nicer finish, but not a problem at all. No worries there. Awesome forward and rear serrations. They work great. Slide stop is something that people love, right? Because it just works. It just works so well. Like that slide stop really releases it. I slingshot, sorry, that's glue from work. I slingshot my slides just to ensure that round gets in the chamber, but people mainly use these. I don't know why. Also, light rail for a lot of different light options, and this is a more popular handgun. Therefore, there are better and more holster options out there when you do have a light. Now, texturing was pretty good, but I do like the grips on this much better than the original texturing. Blacked out rear with a sort of rounded off square for the rear, and you can see it's textured, which is a white front sight. So the sights are better on the Kimber, a lot better, but these aren't bad sights at all. These are combat, decent sights, and you can co-witness just barely, but that also leaves more room in your window. So not bad at all. Takes down really easily, no complaints there. The last thing we're going to talk about is, well, obviously that keeps happening. You know, I don't know what the problem is, but I guess that's something that's happened to a lot of people. So, anyways, let's go ahead and pull that trigger, right? Because that's what the big hype behind this gun is the trigger. It's crisp, it's clean. Reset. To me though, it just feels cheap. Like I don't know what it is. It sort of sounds like, you know, when you dry fire a SIG. It sort of feels a P365, I mean, or a X Macro, right? It feels sort of cheap, but it's a great trigger nonetheless. And you can pull right through. It's almost like a rolling wall, if you notice that. It's not a defined wall that's stopping you. It's a rolling wall. So you're rolling into your shots. Not a problem. Good trigger. But the main thing for me is there's very little room for a gloved finger in there. And I live somewhere that gets cold, and I wear Magpul gloves in the winter. So that is one issue you could run into. Here's my finger in there. You do have a little bit of room, but just something I wanted to point out. Overall, two awesome handguns that a lot of people like for carry. The Canik is way more popular. The Kimber sort of got, you know, thrown to the corner because of reliability issues with their 1911s. But two great guns. No issues with my Kimber. No issues since the fix. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Honestly, this may hurt you guys to say it. Reliability is king.